What's going on, MSFers? Doolum here, and today we're going to be going through Negative Zone with a free-to-play Vigilante team to show you that it is possible. I've had a lot of people telling me that it's impossible, they're stuck, they're dying, they hate it, it's not fun, and I want to make it more fun for you guys and give you guys the tips, tricks, and all of the things you need to get through it. So I wanted to show you the team I'm using. So everybody's at 105, everybody's at gear tier 19, everybody's at purple ISO 3, and if you don't have level 105, this event is tailored to 105, period, plain and simple. You have to be level 105, you have to be gear tier 19, purple ISO. That's pretty much a requirement because of its difficulty. It is hard. So we have Punisher at 3 diamond, Elektra at 2 diamond. I have Daredevil at 5 red, and I'm not sure if it's just me and I got like a lucky drop that I don't remember about, but I feel like that's high, but I have 5 red, so I'm sorry if you only have a 4 red, but I do have 4 red on Hitmonkey and Silver Sable. ISOs are going to be Raider on Punisher, Striker on Elektra to get an extra Striker out there. Also, her ISO basic attack does more bleeds, and that's going to be super important for one specific node. We have Healer on Daredevil, and you could go Fortifier as well. I might end up switching to Fortifier midway through this run because Fortifier is really good, and he takes an absolute ass-kicking right off rip. Hitmonkey, absolutely a Striker, extends negative effects with his ISO attack, and then Silver Sable is absolutely a Raider. And one thing I am going to do, I did not do this for my first run of Negative Zone. This is my second run. I did not do this for my first run, but I am going to put gear 19.5 on all of my characters. So you see 2 million health, 70,000 armor. A lot of stats get put on for this gear 19.5. And the best thing about this is you don't need any sort of gear 20 pieces to put this on. So I am going to do this for all of my characters. When I did it without doing 19.5, I did have to revive a decent amount. I'd say I probably revived like 7 or 8 times to get through the whole thing. But I'm going to do it with 19.5 now to show the difference there. And we're going to get through this free to play. So let's get into it. All right, node number 1. So the key here is placement is very important. So Elektra is going to be next to Daredevil because Elektra has innate dodge chance as well as she can revive. So if she potentially dies from some AoE attacks that hit Daredevil and Elektra, she can revive from that, and that's really helpful. If for whatever reason you don't have diamonds on Elektra and you do have diamonds on Punisher, you could always move Punisher over to put him next to the tank to make sure he's taking some primary and adjacent damage instead of Elektra. But again, I've had the best results with Elektra being there. So let's get into node number 1. Node number 1 is not too bad. This one is a good amount about control and making sure you're hitting into vulnerables a good amount. That's going to be the main bulk of this team. So what we're going to do is we're going to do Silver Sable Ultimate, and she's going to be the kingpin, the linchpin of this team, and making sure she is doing absolutely everything and ulting all of the time. So we want to make sure we are getting through this as quickly as possible. So we do want to stun Green Goblin Classic here because we want to make sure he's not putting out trauma and stun. That is also going to stun a Nimrod, which is awesome. And then the other goal here is going to be working on the Nimrods. So the Nimrods are very, very dangerous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to special with Daredevil Modern, put a lot of damage out there, hit very hard, get those pings out there as well. And then what we're going to do, we're actually going to use the ultimate from Elektra here. Hit him extremely, extremely hard, and that Striker attack takes him out. So we don't have to worry about Nimrod doing something stupid with his ultimate, hitting pretty hard, putting defense down, all that bad stuff out there. We are going to eat some Shang-Chi turns, and there's really nothing we can do about that. But the good news is we're about to take some more turns here. We are going to have to eat some good old Sasquatch stuff, but now I want to work on North Star because I don't want him chaining around and getting a lot of damage out there. So we're going to target him with the ultimate from Punisher, do a good amount of damage, and you see he is almost dead. He's either going to die to bleeds or he's going to die to an errant ping from Punisher when I end up using the specials. So not too worried about him anymore. I do want to work on the Nimrods over here, so let's work on him, get the Striker attack going out on him. So I'm going to do that over there, get the Striker attack on him, get an extra bleed, disrupted, heal block, all that good stuff with the ISO attack. And then obviously we're getting a good amount of counterattacks going on from the Shang-Chi. So those do definitely hurt, but again, that heal block is doing great work here. I am going to keep targeting the Nimrod over here and make sure he goes down. And now what I can do is I can use the special from Daredevil Modern, and he absolutely shreds with that special. Now we can use the special from Elektra, and that extra striker attack is doing awesome. That extra bleed out there as well. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to special on Shang-Chi there, get all of those positive effects because that special from Punisher is absolutely nuts now. And now what we can do is we can start working on these Shang-Chi. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get a stun out there because I know I'm going to get that cooldown back, right? And we do have Silver Sable ultimate here, but honestly, I don't really need it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to keep working on the Shang-Chi, make sure we get all the damage on him. We have the Sasquatches who are really not going to do much anymore. They've already used pretty much everything. They're also not getting the taunts, so I don't have to worry about that. What I could do here is I'm just going to keep basicking and save cooldowns. So you don't have to be too cautious with cooldowns, which is a great part of this team because we have the energy regen rate from Hitmonkey's passive. But you definitely want to make sure you are starting every single node with all abilities up because you want to make sure Silver Sable is ulting. So we can get through the team very, very quickly here. So Sasquatch is down, and it's a super easy node 1. This one is not bad at all. Hitmonkey has his ultimate up now as well, and that's node 1. Let's get to the next one. All right, loading up into node number 2, and this is going to be the one that you guys are having the most trouble with, I am sure. So to start this off, we have to kind of stand here. We have to eat the Hank Pym special as well as the first turn from Captain Britain here. Now what we're going to do, this is why Silver Sable Ultimate is absolutely essential to have up turn 1. So we're going to do the Silver Sable Ultimate, turn 1, put that out there. Now, she did have offense down, which is a little unfortunate, so we didn't get some defense downs on the Gladiators. But what we're going to do here, we're going to target one of the Gladiators, and then the other Gladiator is going to get stunned from that second hit from Hitmonkey. So now we don't have any issues from those Gladiators removing all of your positive effects, and that's going to be absolutely key. So now what we want to do is we want to heal up a little bit because we did get a little low with the Daredevil Ultimate, and we want to essentially get everybody equally as low. So we want to work on getting everybody as low as possible equally because we want to make sure we're getting the most amount of kills towards the end of it because we want to make sure those Gladiators are kept as low as possible because if they're not, we're going to have problems with the Gladiators keeping vulnerables off of everybody. So we don't want that to happen. So we want to make sure those Gladiators are staying low as possible. And we did kill one of the Gladiators already. So I want to make sure I'm going to do is I want to do some good damage to the Gladiator. And now we did get good damage on him. Now we want to make sure we're getting even damage everywhere. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to special with Hitmonkey. And again, I'm trying to get as even as damage as possible on everybody because we don't want the next wave to drop unless everybody is super low life. So what we're going to do here, we're going to use the special from Daredevil Modern here, and that's going to do some good damage. We could probably do the special again here, making sure we don't hit that Kang on the side because we want to make sure we're not killing him just yet. Now what we can do is I'm probably going to end up getting some kills here because I know I'm getting close to cooldowns being ready. So let's get some kills. Let's kill this Kang here because I know he's going to end up dying to the striker hit as well. And now I'm coming in and starting this wave with the Silver Sable Ultimate, which is absolutely essential. So we're doing that, and we're getting off of some taunts on spawn. We're getting energy, and we're also going to stun the Thanos here as well. So we don't have any sort of issues there. That's also going to stun the Gore. You saw now the that Kang in the back ended up dying, which is absolutely awesome. Now what I want to do is I'm going to do the special on Thanos there to get the most amount of damage on him. Now there's this thing that's been going on with Thanos. Sometimes he does his passive, sometimes he doesn't. I don't know what's causing him to do it sometimes and not do it other times. So I'm going to hit him here. He didn't do his passive. I have no clue why. I know Dorky had the same issue from what I've been hearing, that sometimes the passive goes off and sometimes it doesn't. I'm not sure what causes that or not. So yeah, that's a thing. I'm going to kill him now because he's low, and I want to make sure he's not going to do anything stupid. Now what I want to do is I want to make sure I keep Captain Britain alive, and I want to hit into the zombie juggernaut because I don't want the next wave to drop just yet. It's going to drop because of the pings, but I have zombie juggernaut super low, and I know one of the pre-taunts was going to spawn over here. Now, I don't have Silver Sable ultimate, so that is not ideal, but I am going to be able to have it next turn, and I'm going to be getting to that pretty quickly. So that's the goal here. I want to get to that ultimate as quickly as possible because I can take off all of those positive effects that are going to potentially be a problem. Now, I do have a pre-taunt over here, so I want to make sure I can hit that lizard and potentially kill him almost. He's almost a goner. He might end up dying, and he is going to die to this special, which is great, so I don't have to worry about lizard ulting me and doing some stupid things. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to ult on this gladiator to do the most amount of damage to him. So now I am using the Silver Sable ultimate. I'll get off of these taunts. And now what I can do as well is I can use the Hitmonkey ultimate on Thanos endgame. So now he is stunned, which is absolutely awesome. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to kill this gladiator here. He's a goner. Now I want to make sure this Gore is dead because I don't want 3 Annihilators on the field because that stops the vulnerables from going out. Once again, Thanos did not use his passive. Why? I can't tell you, but I'm going to take it. I'm going to hit him as much as I can. That striker on Elektra with the bleed damage does so much, and now the goal is to play this as slow as possible. And if you don't believe me that this works, I swear to you, this is my first attempt on this node. I have not tried this node more than once. This is the first attempt recording this, so I promise you it does work. Now we're just going to hit basics and make sure we get all of our cooldowns ready to go for the next wave. And again, we're getting that energy from Hitmonkey as well, which is great. So we have, looks like everything. Silver Sable ultimate's up and ready to go. Hitmonkey's up and ready to go. Punisher, I think, was almost there, or he's ready to go already. We're taking a little bit of damage there, but it's not that big of a deal. Daredevil Modern is ready to go with cooldowns. Punisher's ready to go. Amazing. And then Elektra is ready to go as well. And that is node number 2. Let's get in the next one. All right, coming into the first node, Quicksilver takes 2 turns right off the bat, and now we are going to be going with Silver Sable Ultimate here, and we are going to start off every node like that, and then we're going to be stunning Ancient One, so we want Ancient One to be stunned, obviously, because we don't want her special to flip all of my positive effects. Then what we're going to do is we're going to start working on everybody evenly, so we want to do as much AoE damage as humanly possible to get everybody super low. Now, this Ms. Marvel Classic on the right-hand side has defense down. The one on the left might have defense down for you. I'm not sure, so you got to pick whichever one has defense down. Go for that one, and then you want to do a big ultimate there, do a lot of damage, and then we'll come on the other side here, and we'll start working on this side to do even damage once again. Now, with that Quicksilver that's over there on the back, you want to make sure he is getting triggered by that 50% health because you want to make sure that Scarlet Witch is dropping because that is just more energy for you that you are going to utilize to make sure you're at full energy before the next wave starts. So very important that that Scarlet Witch happens because you could absolutely delete Quicksilver with like an ultimate from Elektra and then you don't have that extra energy. So make sure that's happening. Tried to get off the taunt from Panda Pool, but unfortunately did not get lucky. What I am going to do here, though, is I'm going to start working on the Black Knight in the back corner there. Ms. Marvel Classic's about to die here, which is fine because we're going to get some energy, and we have a couple characters that we can use that will make it so we don't have the next wave drop. So that's okay. So Black Knight now out of pings, which is great. We're going to do the special over here, which is going to mean I'm going to get off the taunt. As long as I don't push him past 50% life with the striker attack, and I did not, which is absolutely great. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a slow over here on the Ms. Marvel Classic on the left-hand side. If it lands, it might not. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. No big deal. The ultimate from Scarlet Witch doesn't mean anything. She just ends up dying anyway, so it's not like it really matters. Now what I want to do is keep doing even damage. I want to make sure everybody is at the lowest health possible before that next wave drops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another ability block on Ms. Marvel Classic over here with the striker attack. It did not land, which is a little unfortunate, but that can happen. It's called RNG for a reason. It definitely can happen. Let's start working on Medusa here because Medusa can definitely one-shot your Daredevil, and I don't want that to happen, obviously. So let's keep working on Medusa. We do have the taunt now going from Panda because of his good old reflexive taunt past 50% life. He's taking a lot of damage. He's probably going to die here. Maybe not. He's almost dead, though. Let's basic to save the cooldown. Let's get that kill. So now we are getting close to the next wave dropping, right? So now what we want to do is make sure everybody is very, very, very low. So Black Knight does have a good amount of turn meter, and he's not too low. So let's make sure he's a little bit lower than he is currently. And make sure we are prepared for this next wave. So the next wave did drop because we had some people bleeding out. So we have a lot of energy going out there. And now this is essential. We started with Silver Sable Ultimate. Now we hit the ultimate here. And we do not get off of all of the taunts, which is really, really, really unfortunate. So what we're going to do here is, because we're not off of all the taunts, I'm going to use the special from Hitmonkey. So normally, if you get off all the taunts, you could just stun Super Scroll there, and then the node is pretty trivial from there. But I'm actually going to save that stun for the time being because I don't want to have to deal with Super Scroll later if I can stun him and get off this taunt. So I'm going to work on this taunt as much as I can. We're going to special, which is going to get me off of the taunt. Hopefully it didn't, because more RNG. Oh, it did. We're good. Awesome. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to special on Super Scroll here to potentially put a slow out on him and put a offense down on him, so he's not doing a lot of damage. He obviously has that disrupted as well, which is great, so he's not going to go into stealth, so that's awesome. And then what's going to happen here is Hitmonkey is going to be able to take a turn relatively soon and stun Super Scroll before he's going to do anything stupid and do his ultimate. So that's what we got to make sure he does not do his ultimate. Now, the next big threat was going to be Medusa, but Medusa got stunned by the other hit from Hitmonkey. So now what we want to do is we want to make sure everybody is getting as low as possible evenly. So I want to start working on the ones that don't have stun. So I'm going to start working on this Ms. Marvel Classic in the corner over here because I want her to go down. Obviously, I don't want her doing anything stupid. What I am going to do here, though, is I am going to ult and kill this Absorbing Man because he's about to take a turn, and I want him doing anything foolish. We're going to hit into the Ms. Marvel Classic over here. Again, doing that even damage. You see everybody is really, really, really low, so I want to make sure everybody stays really low. And then if I needed to extend any negative effects on Super Scroll, I could have with the ISO attack. Let's keep working on Ms. Marvel Classic because she is a tanky girl, and I don't want her causing any problems. Now you see the next wave is dropping. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to put up the ult because I do want immunity on my team. We do have some Dawkins here, I believe. No, these aren't the Dawkins. These are the Iron Hearts here, so I want to make sure I have the immunity. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to special here because I want to make sure I'm hitting into some vulnerables and get some vulnerables out there. So hitting into the vulnerable, now we did have that death. Now what I could do is Silver Sable Ultimate. So now I have those Iron Hearts out of stealth. And what I can do here is start just absolutely beaming them down. And Electra is going to be one of your biggest damage dealers that's going to help out a bunch. So now let's make sure we're taking down this Iron Heart before she does anything stupid. She is going to special, but again, not that big a damage there. Does not matter. What I do want to do is make sure Black Knight doesn't end up taking a turn because those charges can get some big damage out there. So I want to make sure he is taking the most amount of damage possible. And then obviously that primary and adjacent damage will end up taking out Ironheart there. So let's get as much damage as we can. And now we know we're going to get that 3-turn cooldown back on Electra. So let's do it there. Get some good damage. We get that hit on that Medusa over there because I knew that was going to hit because I used a special. Now I want to make sure I'm basicing. And what's going to happen is Black Knight's probably going to take a turn, which actually isn't the worst thing because what's going to happen is he's actually going to heal a decent amount, and I'm going to be able to hit into him even more. So I'm going to be able to get more cooldowns back. But what might end up happening is this Striker attack is going to do good damage. This hit's going to do good damage. And he is going to end up taking a turn, but he didn't special. So sometimes they special, sometimes they don't. I don't know why. But super easy. You get through this. And then you have full cooldowns on everybody, and you don't have to worry about it. And then gone with the Striker attack. And that is the next node down. Let's get into the next one. All right, starting off this node, we've got a lot of pre-taunters. We've got a lot of annoyance, honestly. So this node is a little bit of RNG when it comes to the start, right? So it really depends on what's blocked, what lands, what doesn't, right? So the turn order is going to be a little bit different here because Daredevil Modern obviously still has immunity, and he's taking a turn first because Silver Sable still has slow. So what we're going to do is we're going to ult to take that slow off of Silver Sable. And then what's going to happen here, we kind of get back to status quo with turn order. So we have the ult going off with Silver Sable. Silver Sable's going to do great things, take off all of those taunts. Now what we're going to do is we want to make sure we are trying to stun the Oath, but unfortunately the taunt on Zombie Juggernaut is still there. We are going to still ult to get a lot of damage out there and get a stun on one of the Joaquins. The normal goal would be to stun the Oath, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But Oath does have defense down, so if we target her with the ult, she's going to get hit twice by this, so she's going to take a lot of damage. Now what I want to do is I want to make sure I'm getting a kill here because I want to get 2 turns. So I'm going to kill Zombie Juggernaut in the corner here, and then I get that extra turn. Then I'm going to special on Oath to get that striker attack and big damage. And also the pings are going to be hitting that lizard every time I use my special as well. So I want to make sure those pings are going to be hitting lizard to get a bunch of damage. Now Peggy can be a problem here because Peggy is a striker and strikers are not good. Strikers can delete because of max health and all that kind of stuff. So we want to make sure we are taking out Peggy as quickly as possible here. You see the special did end up taking out good old lizard. Now what I want to do here is I want to special here, and I want to make sure I am taking out this Oath. So we're going to hit the special. We did get a slow on Peggy as well, so the speed up and the slow counteract each other and negate each other. Now what I want to do is I'm going to hit the special here, and I want to take out Peggy Carter. All right, so what we're going to do here, we're going to try to use the special on Sharon Carter here to do a good amount of damage, put defense down. Now, next up is going to be the problem section of this node. So what I want to do here is make sure these guys are as low as possible, and I kind of don't want Hercules to take a turn. So let's see if I'm actually able to kill Hercules here. He's got that immunity, which is going to keep him alive. But the good news is I am actually able to kill him, so I'm going to get this extra turn from Elektra here. There's 1 turn. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that speed up and defense up off of Peggy, even though she resisted the speed up being taken off. And now what's going to happen is I want to slow play this until the CORES end up dropping. So I want to keep working on Peggy Carter here and getting as much damage. And then I'm going to just even damage it out here and make sure we've got even damage going across the board, obviously. Awesome, because the next wave that drops is definitely a problem wave, right? We've got those CORES, and it's difficult. I'm not going to lie to you, and unfortunately, it's a lot of RNG. So here's the start of it here. So we have CORE hitting into random people right now, and unfortunately, it's all gone on Daredevil Modern, and it is just hitting him over and over and over again. The next hit ended up going on Hitmonkey. So the fact that I survived this is perfect. So now, barely living here, Daredevil Modern, I'm going to be able to rebalance here the health, do my big ultimate, control these CORES, and I will be good to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to control the CORE that does not have defense down, because the other one with defense down, I can end up killing her before she takes a turn. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to use the special on this CORE to potentially put a slow out there, and it did not land, which is okay with me. But what I want to do is take out as much damage as humanly possible on this CORE. But what I will do is make sure I'm getting energy, so I'm going to delete that Joaquin here, and then I'm going to all in back on this CORE here and make sure she dies. Now, I know this node is a massive pain point for a lot of people, and I know it is difficult, but just keep resetting until you are able to get good RNG. This is like my 3rd or 4th attempt on this, and it's worked pretty well. And then from here, once you have the CORES managed, all you got to do is auto basic it out from here. All right, and then that's pretty much it. So what I want to do, actually, I'm gonna put a slow on a Red Goblin here to make sure he doesn't take a turn, and then I'm gonna keep just pretty much auto basicing it from here. It's over now, right? Like, I want to make sure CORE's dead. This CORE's stunned for 2 turns, trauma 3 turns. Good. The other, now she's stunned for 3 turns because of Hitmonkey basic. That's why Hitmonkey as a striker is super important. And then the Omega Red Phoenix Force is going to die here, and I'm just going to auto basic it out. I'm not going to make you guys watch this, and we'll get into the next node. All right, so unfortunately my footage got corrupted on node 5 and I can't show it to you now, so that's kind of crappy. But you see, Taskmaster is used instead of good old Electra because Electra spawns with stealth, giving those Dawkins a bunch of turn meter, and you don't want that. So all you need to do is spawn in, use Taskmaster instead of Electra, as long as Electra doesn't have has the T4 in her passive to spawn with stealth. If she doesn't, you can use Electra, it doesn't matter. What happens is they take a couple turns, then Silver Sable does her ultimate. Then what you're going to do is use Hitmonkey ultimate into Penny to stun Penny. It's also going to hit Old Man Logan, but he's over 50% life, so he's not going to be stunned. But then you use the Punisher ultimate into Old Man Logan, and he is essentially dead. Then you want to work on the Dawkins in the back left corner and make sure the Dawkins die pretty quickly. Then what happens is, once the next wave ends up dropping, all you're going to do is do Silver Sable ultimate again. What's going to happen is you're probably going to end up pushing the Nova, making him drop his charges, and then what's going to happen is he's going to get a bunch of turn beater. But Hitmonkey is actually going to go first, so you want to stun the Nova with Hitmonkey. You're going to eat the Phoenix special, but then you're going to end up deleting everybody, so it really doesn't matter. And then when you're left with most likely just a single Peter B. Parker, you want to use Taskmaster ult to put a heal block on him so you're able to work up your cooldowns back and just auto basic it out from there. But again, sorry I lost the footage, but this node is absolutely trivial. You'll be done in probably a minute and a half. All right, coming into node number 6, we have another absolute joke. That's right, Silver Sable does her ultimate. Super easy, right? Incredible, amazing, amazing. Now what we want to do, I'm going to stun the Icarus, and it's actually going to stun the Cersei as well, and then they will never move again from the rest of this. Now I want to get some primary and adjacent damage over yonder and hit everybody. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to take the most amount of damage, or I'm going to deal the most amount of damage to Apocalypse, hopefully kill him outright, and it does. He's a goner. He's dead. Now we have Nemesis taking 1 turn, which is fine. He's going to die to pings. Does not matter at all. We're going to hit the ultimate on one of the Black Knights, the one that's going to die. Then we could just do the basic on Archangel to kill him. We have the next wave dropping, but guess what? We got all the energy. We Silver Sable ult again. And it is pretty much over from here. All you want to do is make sure you take out the Spider Weavers so they don't do anything stupid and get charges up and delay your progress. But guess what? One of the Spider Weavers stunned, gone. This Spider Weaver has slow now. So all I have to do is basic it out, take both of them out, and they are down for the count. We're just going to basic, get all of our cooldowns back. But again, we have all that energy coming out from Hitmonkey. And yeah, it's this node is extremely trivial, like just as trivial as the last one. I know you didn't see the last one, but guess what? The last one is just as easy as this one if you just follow what I said and you delete everybody, and guess what? We're on to the next node already. All right, coming in node number 7, we're going to start off with a Silver Sable ultimate, and yeah, pretty straightforward. Just put that out there, and then what we're going to do from here is we're actually going to stun the Medusa, because Medusa does a lot to you and can one-shot pretty much anybody on your team, especially because it's a striker, so we don't want that coming in. Then what we're going to do is we are going to ult down the middle here to do a lot of damage to everybody. Just keep doing that even damage and make sure we don't have any sort of issues when it comes to anybody taking turns or a wave dropping too early and we don't have cooldowns. So now what I want to do is I want to target the Beta Ray Bill on the left here for me because he didn't get the defense down from the Silver Sable ult. So I want to try to kill him before he takes a turn because these Beta Ray Bills are kind of annoying, believe it or not. But you can also potentially one-shot Shadow King. And guess what? I'm going to go for it with the Striker attack. And guess what? Shadow King's probably going to be dead from that Striker attack or from the bleeds. And the good news is the Beta Ray Bills are actually going to special turn 1, which doesn't really mean anything, which is awesome. So they don't do anything useful. I want to make sure I'm doing even damage, so I'm not going to target the Beta Ray Bill on the back right. I want to do back left, even though the back right one or the back left one died anyway, so it's not like it matters. I'm going to do the special here, try to get some kills out so that when the next wave drops, I do have some more energy being produced for me, and it does look like that is the case. I'm going to take out, let's try to take out the Sasquatch here and kill him. Hopefully he ends up dying here. It looks like I am killing everybody very quickly before the next wave drops, which is absolutely awesome. I've also noticed this about Negative Zone. There are some times where the next wave just won't drop, and I don't know why. Because right now the next wave should have dropped, and it hasn't. I'm not sure what causes that or not, but use it to your advantage if you can abuse it. So I'm killing this entire wave before the next wave drops. And now guess what? I'm going to get a stun on Omega Red Phoenix Force because he's annoying and we don't want him doing anything stupid. I'm also going to potentially put a slow out on him with the Daredevil Modern Special. It did not land, which is a-okay. I do want to kill this rogue before she gets her special off because the special can be really annoying. So we're going to do a lot of damage to her. Even though she's got defense up and immunity, you can rip through her very, very quickly. Now, she's not going to have that defense up, safeguard immunity, and I'm going to ult, taking out all of that. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to target Omega Red Phoenix Force with the special to make sure the striker attack hits him, and we'll put an extra stun on him. Also, when you special, you're going to be putting out those pings from Punisher. I'm going to ult here, making sure to hit that rogue in the back right to make sure she's taking a lot of damage because I want her dead, ideally. Let's special again. She is now dead. So now the goal is essentially just take out the Ares as fast as possible. The Ares is it Arai? Is it like cactus and cacti? You got to change it up, and I don't know. I'm being an idiot. But yeah, let's just do even damage, making sure we're taking out as many people as possible. We have those stuns back there on good old Omega Red, so we know he's not going to do anything. Let's get more damage on this Ares to try to do as much as I can to him. Let's try to take him out here because I know the other Ares is going to take a turn. I can't really stop that. So let's get all the damage here on him to make sure I only eat one Ares turn instead of two Ares' turns, you know? So make it a little bit easier on me. We are going to have a little bit of a heal from Leader going out there, but because of the trauma from Silver Sable Ultimate, doesn't do anything. And then guess what? If you really want to, you can ult and stun that good old Ares because guess what? Now, all you're going to do is just hit into the Ares a bunch and make sure he dies. The Omega Red Phoenix Force is completely controlled in the back, so he's never going to get to his turn. And all we're going to do is make sure Ares dies here, and we're going to put a lot of bleeds on him, and he's going to bite the dust. We can change targets over to Leader now, get a kill on him. He's a goner, which is great. Now, I do want to make sure I have Hitmonkey Ultimate up, so I want to make sure I'm able to have that, and that would be really beneficial if I do have it, because if I don't, potential issues could arise for the last wave, but doing that stun is not the most imperative thing, so we're going to kill him here most likely. Nope, Hitmonkey. Yep, Hitmonkey with the ping kills him, and then that's it. Let's get into the last node. All right, coming into node number 8. This is going to be the one that you have to probably reset a decent amount, unfortunately, because we do need a defense down being placed on Odin, ideally from Silver Sable here, but we do have another opportunity for it to get placed by someone else. So what we're going to do is use Stun Blade with Hitmonkey. Make sure he's not going to do anything because he can absolutely shred you. Then we do have the special from Daredevil Modern, and we do get the defense down. So now what we could do is we can all out warfare on good old Odin here. So we are going to hit into Odin as much as humanly possible. What I am going to do here is I am going to special, get a fat hit, and we do have the striker attack going in there, and that is going to put more bleeds. And the special is going to make sure we're getting those pings out there from Punisher, so we're getting that kill on Green Goblin, so he's not taking a turn. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to special with Hitmonkey here to be able to get more bleeds extended out, more striker attacks, continually hitting Odin as much as possible here. And then we're going to go with the big boom from Daredevil Modern here. We've got the big boom from Punisher, and then another big boom from Elektra here. And Elektra is ideally going to be able to finish this off here and kill Odin with the striker attack, all the bleeds, and he is a goner. It is that simple, folks, that easy. And that is a free-to-play Vigilante one-shotting Odin. Now all you got to do is eat the turns from the Man-Things, and then you got to eat some turns from the Havocs, and then guess what? You're pretty much home free from here, and all you got to do is just play this out, build your cooldowns back up before the next wave drops, and go from there. So what we're going to do here, building up my cooldowns, I can special here. It's not that big of a deal. But because I do want those pings taking out good old Blade, because he is stunned, does have slow and stuff like that, but the pings are going to do good amount of damage, and I want those pings to start hitting other people once Blade does die, so we're going to do that. We're going to hit the ultimate as well, because we don't want Ms. Marvel Classic, ideally, to take a turn, but she's probably going to, and it is what it is. Not something we can stop, but she is a tanky gal, let me tell you, when she takes a turn. And I'm almost positive she's a striker as well, which can cause some issues. But now we can get off of these taunts because we have the Silver Sable ultimate once again. So we are good there. Now what I want to do is I want to make sure I am stunning this Ms. Marvel Classic because I don't want her doing anything stupid. So she's a goner now. And now what I'm going to do is even damage, even damage, even damage. So I'm going to try to get as much even damage out there as possible. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to special the man thing over here because I want this man thing a little bit lower, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to ult the man thing here, take off that barrier. It actually killed him, which is kind of nuts. I'm going to special the Havoc on the right because I know the Havoc on the left is probably going to end up bleeding out. So let's work on that, or he's going to die to the ping just like that. And then we have the next wave dropping, which is completely fine. We're going to special on the Havoc over here because I want to get that slow out there on Hank as well as Captain Britain. And then from here, guess what? They have revives, but Hitmonkey stops the revive. So we are just going to hit into the Captain Britain and the Hank and make sure they are dying because they can definitely heal up and do some stupid things. You see the heal coming out from Hank Pym passive, obviously. So we're trying to get through that as quickly as we can. I am going to hit the ultimate here because I do want that immunity and offense up, a lot of damage. And then what we're going to do here, I'm going to special on Captain Britain here to take off that taunt. Make sure he doesn't have that anymore. Because I knew I probably wasn't going to get the kill. I have Silver Sable ultimate once again doing absolutely crazy things. I love Silver Sable. She's so fun, so exciting, so cool. We can't get a stun on Dormammu, obviously, unless he had trauma. I couldn't tell. He did. I could have stunned him, but it doesn't really matter, honestly. We're just getting a lot of damage out there now. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this defense up and this block off of Captain Britain. It got resisted. That's okay. We're going to hit into him again. Continue doing damage, and then Elektra, I want you to delete Hank Pym. You did your job. Absolutely amazing. Now I'm going to hit into Dormammu here to make sure he's taking some good damage. He's obviously going to drop into stealth, but he has a lot of bleeds on him, so he's probably going to end up dying to some primary and adjacent damage. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to special into the man thing over here, and you can see the node's pretty much done here, boys and girls, and potential whatever else. That's right. It's over. Super easy, super straightforward, nothing crazy at all. All you got to do is all in on Odin, take him out as quickly as humanly possible. And now I know that Captain Britain's going to die to these bleeds. He's a goner. We're going to keep working on the good old man things in the back. And then what I want to do is special when I can to make sure those Punisher pings will hit the lowest health, which will be Dormammu. He's ability blocked anyway, so he's not going to do his special. He does get a bunch of turn meter when he does that, though. But guess what? He's not getting turn meter when he's dead. And that's it. That's how you do Negative Zone. Free to play Vigilante. 0 gear tier 20. 0 money spent. No heals spent either. Absolutely amazing. Do it in your run. Make sure you're doing this every single day to score as well as you can on the Odin leaderboards. There's your guide. You're very welcome. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, this has been Duelim. Later, MSFers.